There was a red one.
Now you're on.
There is a red one. There is.
Is it live? Yeah. Is it live? Missy, does it show that we're live?
Daddy, can I please open my things now?
Of course.
Yeah, I can open my things now. Yay.
All right, I think we're
I
live.
can open my things now.
Be ready when the moment strikes. Rose Sparks gets you hard when you want. Rose Sparks is a fast-acting, long-lasting solution and a convenient.
Missy, does it show that we're live? The camera is dark.
Daddy, can I please
screen is
open
dark.
my things now?
Of course.
Yeah, I can open my things
It's okay,
now.
Mom, it's okay.
Yay.
Does it Alright, show I that think we're
I
live?
can open my things now.
Be ready when the moment strikes. Rose Sparks gets you.
Ew. Awesome. It's like jelly. This is jelly.
All right.
Can I please
screen is
open
dark.
my things now?
This is not
Yeah,
another
I can
boring
open my things
podcast.
now.
Mustafa through
Does it
the
show that
police,
we're
the
live?
body
Open my
cam,
things now.
Be ready when
Judge
the moment
Carol
strikes. Rose
Weimer
Sparks gets
under
you.
the microscope. I want to thank our co-host Susie. Susie, thank you for being here.
Yep.
All right,
Can I
Susie, I
please
love that
open
you're
my
here.
things
You're a
now?
very important. This is not
Yeah,
another
I can
boring
open my things
podcast.
now.
Mustafa, you're very important in this conversation. Thank you for being here.
Yup.
I want to thank Mohammed. Mohammed is here. Mohammed, thank you for being here. I want to thank Missy. I want to thank Casey. Thank you for being here. And we're going to attempt to have you in the live. So feel free to cut into my conversation. And I'm going to ask you to cut into my conversation because I have a tendency of tuning everybody out. Susie, thank you for being here.
Yep.
Daddy bought you a toy. What is that toy? What are we looking
It's
at?
like cutie toys. They're really like dragons and like insane stuff.
So you're unpackaging that toy. So what's in that toy? It came in an egg. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a golden egg, like made of a golden mind.
A golden egg made of what is it made of?
Golden mind.
A golden mind. That's interesting.
Can I show them now?
Of course. Of
Okay.
course. So where came in this egg?
Like let me show you.
We're all watching.
Okay, come. Look at this. Look, I got a little stretchy, squishy dragon, but it's not really stretchy.
It's not stretchy. That's beautiful.
It's
Okay.
not actually it is stretchy, but it's not squishy.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's
It's
beautiful.
Like you can just,
Does the dragon have a name? Does it have a name?
oh yeah, his name is Strawberry Blueberry.
Strawberry Blueberry. Now, I want to thank Susie for being here. Susie is my 40-year-old niece. Susie, thank you for being here.
Can I show
Susie
you?
is unpackaging a toy that
Daddy got me.
Daddy got her. And it has a lot of toys. So it has a dragon, a blue dragon. What was his name?
Blueberry Strawberry.
Blueberry Strawberry.
Can I show them my little things?
Of course. Of course.
Look at this little thing.
That's beautiful. Is that an airplane?
Yeah.
Oh, God. You know, I have PTSD from airplanes. Mustafa's previous attorney,
Whee!
Elaine Jarvis. You know, Elaine, the lawyer that was defending Mustafa but ran away when Amy Ashworth came out. She flies airplanes. Yeah. That's a very dangerous situation. Because this lady is mentally, Susie, this lady is unstable and she might just fly an airplane into this house.
Oh yeah.
You know, she might fly this into this house. I don't know, you know.
It's not real.
She might fly an airplane into this house or the county's house. So I don't know. I hope not.
It's not real. It's just a toy.
I hope that we reach out. I've got Susie, I've got recordings that this lady is not stable. And I'm going to supply them to Commonwealth Amy Ashworth. And she might want to reach out to the licensed place that gives out airplane license. Because that lady might she's either going to fly an airplane into my house or fly in an airplane. I mean, I don't know, you know, so we have to be careful with Elaine Jarvis.
We need to be careful with everything, Len, because it's really, really dangerous.
It is. What this county is doing is sad. Susie, let's get back to your toys. So you have an airplane.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you just turn on the camera? Look.
Of course. The camera is on you, by the way.
Look.
Yeah. That's beautiful. So you can pull it back.
Put it back.
And it
we-
goes kamikaze style. Great. Susie, you have beautiful makeup.
Thank you.
Oh my God, you have beautiful earring.
Thanks.
You have a beautiful, beautiful earring. Let's see your earring. Oh my God, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. You have a beautiful dress.
It's gold
Look,
and white.
We're matching. I have blue on my tie. I have a unicorn tie.
That's funny.
Okay.
It's like the horn. This is the sharp part of the horn.
That's
and
beautiful.
That's the part.
Okay. I gotta be careful about the unicorn tie because who did your makeup?
My sister Lulu.
Lulu, Maha did your makeup, and we're get. By the way, Susie, we're gonna have Maha on here, and Maha has a lot to say. A lot. Oh, look, you have juice. Beautiful. Oh, Mickey Mouse juice. What's Mickey Mouse doing there? I love you, Susie. Okay, so you. Oh, what is this?
It's a scooter.
It's a scooter.
Wee,
Does it
wee,
look?
wee.
Does it look like a bicycle?
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. A scooter bicycle.
Those little shaking things. Like
Oh, is that a puzzle in it?
Oh yeah, it is a puzzle.
That's beautiful. This egg has a lot of toys. That's beautiful. Let me see. It's beautiful. Look, you can play with the puzzle.
You just shake it and round and you did it and it's
That's beautiful. What else? What else do you have? What else came in this magic egg?
no, it's called golden mind.
Golden mind egg. Hello, I'm learning something every day, Susie.
Look, son.
That's beautiful. What is that?
He stretched out his body.
Oh God, this dragon stretches out. This is like Susie. This is like the Mustafa Al Jazari case. It keeps stretching out. It never ends. Okay, and there's so many falsified police report that it just never ends. I mean, this is a good metaphor into what we're talking about today. A dragon that never that keeps stretching. What else? What else came in this egg? What is this? That's Susie. This is Sarah Sammy. This is Sarah Sammy. You tell her this, she tells you this. She tells you that, she tells you this. I mean, what would satisfy? The question is, what would satisfy Prosecutor Sarah Sammy that this is a vehicle accident? Susie, this is Sarah Sammy. I swear to God. Oh my God. Can I keep this, by the way?
Sure.
I love you. I love you. This is Sarah Sammy, Prosecutor Sarah Sammy, in the Mustafa Al Jazari case.
Or maybe Amy Ashworth.
Or maybe Amy Ashworth. I mean, they're both doing the same thing. They're doing the hula hoop dance. You tell them this, they tell you that. You tell them that, they tell you this. I mean, there's so many falsified police report. And the question is, Susie, what would satisfy this county that this is a vehicle accident? Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. They don't want to accept
Look at this little
that this is a vehicle accident.
This little squeak, squeak, squeak.
What is this?
It's a pig squeak.
Oh my God! You know who this reminds me of?
Ooh,
This remind me of one of the key witnesses, Amy Hodson.
let me see this.
I swear to God, aka Al-Qazai, who's trolling the conversation. Susie, you heard about Al-Qazai, right?
I heard about her. She's pretending she's good to me.
Oh my God! Even the 40-year-old baby have heard about Al-Qazai, and Amy Ashworth have no idea. Susie, so this is beautiful. Can I keep this? I'm gonna keep all your toys. I'm gonna have these on a podcast every day. I love you. So all these are your toys. Is there more, or is this it?
There's one more.
So Susie, I heard you had a visit with Mustafa.
Yeah, can I show you one more?
Of course, of course.
This is the last one.
Last one.
The last one, not the last. The last.
It seems that the theme for these toys, and they have one thing in common. They're all blue. Most of them are blue.
Most of them are blue.
Even my tie is blue. Even my shirt is blue.
Everything is blue.
And your dress, your beautiful dress is blue.
Everything is blue.
Everything is blue. And
Look at
this podcast,
Look at this jelly.
we're going to take a deep dive on why this whole entire case is blue. And we'll talk about why it's blue. That's beautiful. What is that?
That's a jelly thing you can put on the wall like this.
What? Be careful, be careful, be careful. The headphone. You're okay? You're okay? Okay. All right. Show us how you put it on the wall. Okay. Wow. This is like what they're doing with this case. You throw it's a shotgun approach. You throw things at the wall and hoping that things stick. That's what the county is doing.
Please get off.
That's what Prosecutor Sarah Sammy and Commonwealth Amy Ashworth said. Please get off. Please stop. Susie, what is this? Is it stuck?
I think
This is me getting stuck on them, and they're begging. Susie, come back over.
I
I
have
have-
a toy. I have another toy.
Okay, all right. While Susie, our co-host,
Daddy, where's my
is getting another toy, we're gonna take a deep dive into this case. This is not another boring podcast. Mustafa through the police body cam. Judge Carol Weimer under the microscope. Today we have a lot to talk about. Susie is here. Muhammad is here, and
got my
there are documents that we want to go over. Muhammad, there are documents that we want to go over. Susie, welcome back.
Okay.
All right, so you got Funyuns.
Yeah, funny and I love.
Beautiful, beautiful. Is Funyuns made out of onions?
Yeah,
Is it?
yeah.
Okay.
I
All
love
right.
onions. Onions are fake.
Is it real? Is it real onion?
No,
No. Duh.
it's fake.
Susie, Susie, that's beautiful. Okay. Oh, you have another egg. That comes with surprises.
This comes.
What? What's this? What's this?
I don't know.
Directions. Interesting. You want to wear the headphones? Or Muhammad, you want to hold onto the headphones?
Maybe
Okay.
yes, maybe oh.
Susie, I have a question for you.
What?
So you had a visit with Mustafa the other day, right? How was your visit with Mustafa?
Oh, really good.
Was it good?
Yeah.
Why do you say it was good? What did you guys talk about?
We talked about jokes.
Jokes. What jokes did you guys talk about?
Why is 6 afraid of 7?
Why is 6 afraid from 7? Why? Why is 6 afraid from 7?
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Why is 6 afraid of 7?
Why?
Because 7 ain't 9.
7, 8, 9.
And the 7 eats a 9.
What is wrong with 7?
7 is so.
Is 7 an evil person that he ate 9?
No,
No.
he's like Amy Ashworth.
Like Amy Ashworth, attempting to eat this whole entire county. This is Amy Ashworth. Flip-flopping
Can you this for me, please?
for the past 2 years. Susie, while Mustafa is in solitary confinement,
Yeah.
so was Mustafa doing okay?
Yeah,
He was doing okay.
he's doing okay.
So you told him these jokes. Did he laugh?
Yeah, he laughed really hard.
He laughed really hard.
Hard.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. What other jokes did you have for Mustafa?
Why? Knock knock.
Who's there?
Ellie.
Who's Ellie?
Helicopter.
Helicopter, helicopter. Susie, you're very funny. You have beautiful jokes.
And knock knock.
Who's there?
Knock knock knock.
Who's there?
Lettuce.
Lettuce who?
The grass.
The So you had jokes for Mustafa. Well, let me ask you this. You had jokes for Mustafa. And what else did you guys talk about?
I want to tell you another joke.
Okay, tell me another
No,
joke.
knock knock knock.
Who's there?
Tomato.
Tomato who?
Tomato that leaves.
You are funny. You are funny, Susie. Let me ask you a
Ball.
question. Mustafa is coming home. We just have to be patient. And we're going to keep talking about what Amy Ashworth is doing to Mustafa. Okay? You miss Mustafa? You miss Mustafa?
You can keep those. You can take them.
Thank you, baby. How much do you miss Mustafa?
Chameleons.
Millions?
Chameleons.
Chameleons. That's a lot. You miss Mustafa a lot?
I miss them a lot.
Yeah? You love Mustafa?
Yeah.
I love you. I love you. You memorize a song for Mustafa. I'm gonna play it for you. Okay? You've been singing around the house all day and all night. Okay. Okay? Put the chocolate right here. Okay, we're gonna talk. I'm gonna play a song for you. Oh yeah, put the headphones so she can hear my conversation.
I hear you better.
You hear me better with the microphone?
Mike. Okay, now you can tell
So,
me.
Susie, you've been singing the song a lot. And I'm going to play for you. You have it memorized better than I have it memorized. Is this embedded in the live or no? Susie, I need you to, Susie, put bad word, baby. Don't use those words.
Okay.
Susie, put the toy down.
Okay.
Let's talk.
Okay.
Thank you.
What
Put
is
the, no,
this? How
it's
do
okay.
we connect
I'm gonna play a song for you.
Okay, what is this?
This is the song that.
Oh, I love that song.
Do you know why? Oh.
I love that song.
You love the song. The way you sing is beautiful.
Thanks.
You want to sing it for us? Sing it through the mic so your voice can come through.
Break it apart and the free swing Mustafa and the shit and the heart. I falsified them in them. Press to every word on a car crash or murder. First ever heard. Empress, angels in the sky. In this lie. A badge and a pinch. Look. Free me snuffle. Baby, like no choice. I kind of a reason. Breaking apart. And you free some Mustafa. On the shoe at the heart. I falsified and beat it. What's the every word in the car crash or murder? What's the ever heard?
Listen, you want to change it where
Angels in the sky.
you want to change it where it's both of us?
Through this lie. A badge and a pinch.
It's beautiful, Susie.
Look. My favorite part. Free Mustafa.
You want to put her voice higher?
Justice and Method. On my name, the doctor, Gorma Streak and stuff.
Or do you want to put the camera on her?
Free Mustafa. Illuminate the move in the mission. Illuminate the Trump, a cash. Here I come. Into truth to light. Let the innocent fly. Amy Ashworth and judge in the jury county so dirty. Sunk a fury of police reports. Free stuff.
That's beautiful, baby. Keep singing. It's beautiful.
Move in the mission. Due to my days of Trump, a cash. He'd welcome. He'd the truth to lie. Let the innocent fly. Amy Ashworth, Ian George and jury in the county so dirty.
Keep singing, baby. Sing into the mic.
A fury.
It's beautiful.
And then a plop. And the innocent man needs to shoot a lot. It's in the family in the low high. And the mountain. And the send the lie. Hold on. Under the stone. It's a grief for bone. It's a justice born. Every chance. It's a circus fight. A darkness is intended in it to ignite. It started the song on a battle cry. And the jukebox.
It is a battle cry. It is a battle cry.
Justice and method.
Into the mic, baby, so your voice can pick up. I love you.
Trump, cash. Teach you to lie, let the innocent fly.
2 years of solitary confinement. Mustafa has been held. Susie, you're gonna sing? You're gonna sing. I'm gonna talk in the background. 2 years of solitary confinement. Mustafa has been held in a county jail for 2 years on solitary confinement because a prosecutor is maliciously prosecuting the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. Every piece of evidence in this case showed that this is a vehicle accident. And the question is, what would satisfy this county that this is a vehicle accident? His foot is on the brake the whole entire time. The dash camera showed this is a vehicle accident. The evidence showed that the investigator falsified the police reports. The dash camera showed they falsified the police report. What would satisfy this county that this is a vehicle accident? His toxicology report showed no alcohol and no drugs. Susie, thank you for being here. I love you. I'm going to keep your I love you, Susie. We want to thank Susie for being our co-host. Susie, I want you to do me a favor. Can you do me a favor? Can you be the noise police? You're in charge of the noise. Anybody that makes noise, I want you to tell them, Amar's on the podcast. I love you, Susie. I can't do this without you. We want to thank our Susie for being our co-host. Susie, thank you for being on this podcast. Now we have Mohammed joining us. Mohammed, thank you for being here. This is not another boring podcast. Mustafa through the police body cam. Judge Carol Weimer under the microscope. And the question that we have for this county and the residents of this county, Prince William County here in Virginia, what would satisfy this prosecutor, this police department, that this is a vehicle accident?
You want this?
I'm going to keep this.
Yeah,
I'm going to
okay,
keep both
thank
of these. Susie, is it okay if I keep these?
I'll give it to you.
I love you. I mean,
Thank you, Susan. Here you go.
these are, we have the whole entire file, and we're in possession of who's who and who are the witnesses that are being used into this case. And these will take a deep dive into who these individuals are. What are they saying about Mustafa? How they're lying about Mustafa? And how the police department and the prosecutor is using individuals that are lying about Mustafa. I have evidence that these individuals lied, manufactured probable cause, and the police department allowed them to lie. I mean, this is malicious prosecution. And the question here is, what would satisfy this prosecutor that this is a vehicle accident? That Mustafa did everything he can to avoid a vehicle accident? I mean, that's a very good question. That's a very valid question.
It's a really good question. I mean, what would satisfy Sarah Sammy and this police department? What actions in this car that Mustafa could have taken to satisfy this prosecutor, to satisfy this police department? What actions in that vehicle, based on that dash cam, what actions could he have taken for them to say he's avoiding a vehicle accident? I mean, you look at the dash cam, okay?
Let's pull up the dash cam on the...
You have it. Yeah. Okay, you look at the dash cam. You see that there was a vehicle to his right. He slammed on the brake. The car doesn't stop. And the only place for him to go was the opening to the left. I mean, there was a white van that just passed. There was an opening, and he took that opening in a moment of panic. I mean, you know, people can look back and say he could have done this, he could have done that. But if you look at that dash cam, you're in a moment of panic. What could he have done in that moment to satisfy this police department? I mean, the only thing you could do is turn left.
Well, you can't turn left because there's a vehicle that's blocking him from going back into traffic. It's on dash camera.
But he took that left, that opening. He took that opening.
I mean, no, right. I thought you were saying right. He couldn't go right because there's a vehicle on his
Go
right.
There's a vehicle to his right. I mean, if he had turned right into that vehicle, they would have said that he's trying to hit the side where Dorothy's sitting. If he would have hit the median with that street sign, then they would have said he directly ran into the sign. He directly ran into the median. If he would have hit...
Is it commercial? Stand by for the commercial. There we go.
Okay, if he would have drove directly into anything, they would have said he's trying to hit the side of Dorothy. He took the left.
You should be able to pull up the dash camera on there.
Okay, he took the left.
I'm fast forwarding.
He took that opening in a moment of panic. And to them, that's not good enough. That he's not trying to, I mean, he slammed the brake. You look at the data recorder, it shows he was on the brake the entire time. The entire time he's on the brake. Okay, the police say there's brake failure. So his car didn't stop. You can clearly see.
Mohammed, this is a dash camera moments before the vehicle accident, before the camera cuts off.
Okay.
So I think they're sitting at a traffic light, at a red light.
No, I think it's paused.
Oh, there we go. Oh, they're driving. Okay, so they're driving. Okay, there you go. So moments before the vehicle accident.
I mean, this is like seconds before the accident. They're at a light.
Now, Robert Drum said they were arguing. I'm not seeing an argument. Where is this argument that Robert Drum claimed? I mean, by the way, this is a sealed file. The county have sealed this dash camera. It's been 2 years. We're in possession of the sealed file, and I'm releasing it actively on the internet. Robert Drum, the main investigator, and the prosecutor is telling the community there is an argument. Where is this argument?
This is seconds before the car accident. I mean, they're at a light.
The music is playing in the background. They're having a conversation. And Dorothy began to give him directions to where they're going. They're at a traffic light. Where is this argument that they're talking about? I mean, you should hear Robert Drummond how he's describing the dash camera to everybody he interacts with on this body cam. We have the police body cams. Robert Drum says they were arguing. There was a heated argument, and he turned into oncoming traffic. Where? Are we watching the same dash camera? Or are you simply lying because you know the prosecutor have sealed off this dash camera from the community? Now, this is where Mustafa is attempting to pass the vehicle in front of him. I'm going to pause it right here. And he takes a lane, and then he realizes he's in the wrong lane. Where is he supposed to go? I mean, at that point, where are you supposed to go? What are the facts in this case? He takes a lane, attempting to pass a vehicle in front of him. Realize that he's in the wrong lane. This is a U-turn lane. Where is he supposed to go? The questions are, did Mustafa slam on the brake? Yes. The computer inside the vehicle shows that his foot was on the brake the whole entire time. Is there brake marks?
Do you have this footage?
Which one?
It's slowed down.
Yeah, I can slow it down. So we're going to slow it down to 0.25.
Okay.
You want me to rewind a little bit? There we go.
Okay, this is a slow motion, a slowed down version of it.
I mean, the fact of this case is, did he hit the brake? Yes. Was his foot on the brake the whole entire time? Yes. Is there brake marks? Yes.
Not only that, but you can see inside the vehicle. I mean, you can see Empress's seat. You can see how the seat shifts forward at the intersection. Mm-hmm. When something shifts forward, mm-hmm. that means you slammed the brake. Okay? And based on the data recorder, he was on the brake the entire time. Mm-hmm. I mean, the real question is, they're saying that they're arguing, she's crying. This is how Robert Drum describes it. He says she's crying. I don't see her crying here.
I mean, they're sharing a cigar.
Her brother says on Fox 5.
Mohammed, they're sharing a cigar. I mean, what argument? When are you arguing with your partner when you're sharing a cigar?
On Fox 5, her brother came out, and the media allowed them to put this lie out, this false narrative. No, keep playing it.
Keep playing. Okay.
Yeah, keep playing.
I was going to play the... Yeah.
No. Her brother gets on Fox 5 and says, my sister was on the phone as this was happening. You can see Dorothy right there. Is she on the phone?
No.
Okay.
He lied. He flat out lied.
It looks like this is what Drum says. It looks like you're attempting to pass a vehicle. I mean, look at Empress's seat.
Let me know if you want me to rewind real quick.
I mean, look at this. He took an opening. Okay. If you go back, don't go back too far. But you can see in the top camera, when he takes that left lane at the intersection, that vehicle is directly next to him. There's no way for him to get back into that lane. There's a vehicle to his right. Okay?
I mean, you can clearly see that on the dash camera. There's a vehicle to his right. He can't go back into traffic.
And I think in a moment of panic, your mind is thinking, I don't want to hit anything. That's what your mind is thinking. In a moment of panic, I mean, look at the top camera. You can see the back side of that vehicle right next to him, right there.
I just rewinded just a little bit. You want me to go back?
No, you don't have a controlled version of it.
I can
where you can.
I could organize this a little bit better, but I probably could if you give me 5 minutes.
Well, can you just can you screen record it?
Yeah, I can do that.
Just screen record it so that you can.
Okay, sounds good. I'll tell you what's. The fact of this case, Mohammed, the fact of this case is the police department has inspected this vehicle and they found brake failure. 2 of his calipers did not work.
I mean, you know what I find really interesting is the prosecutor from the very beginning. I remember on that Monday when Mustafa showed up to court for his first bond hearing, she tells the judge that Mustafa intentionally did this because he got angry in the car. And out of anger, he turned his car into oncoming traffic. That they were arguing, that Dorothy was crying, and that he specifically did this out of anger. This is what she tells the judge in court.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we know this camera has audio. Robert Drum knows this camera has audio. Investigator Zymus with forensics specifically stated that the audio capability was turned on.
And that's in the discovery.
And
we have that document.
And that this footage does have a visible audio track. I'm quoting her directly from her report. This footage has a visible audio track. Okay, now you look through the discovery and you look at Robert Drum reaching out to Rexing USA, which is the dash cam company that where this dash cam came from. It's a Rexing USA dash cam. They're based out of New Jersey. And Robert Drum reaches out to Rexing. And in his paragraph, he does not mention, the fact that he mentioned that he's trying to get why this camera is stuck on 77 miles per hour and why there's no GPS location on it.
That's the only thing he asked. He doesn't ask about the audio. I mean, I thought the main important thing was this dash. They're trying to find out if there's an argument or there's no argument. They're claiming there's an argument. They falsified the police report and said, you told us you were arguing. There is evidence. There's an audio that Mustafa never said that. I mean, wouldn't that be the first thing to look for when you're reaching out to Rexon dash camera?
And by the way, you don't
Can you airdrop that to me?
You don't have to take my word for it. Okay? You can look at the document for yourself that this county has sealed. They sealed this email. This email was sent on July 17th, 2023. Let me see where it's at. July 17th, 2023, Robert Drum reaches out to Rexing USA. Okay? Let me get you the document so I can read it. Okay.
And Mohammed, what I'm going to ask you to do is airdrop this document. I want to put a watermark seal on it. So that way, when it goes around the internet, I'm tracking it. And there is a reason why we're releasing documents and body cams this way is to track who is releasing what.
I mean, you're telling me
this is a sealed file. What we're talking about.
This is in July of 2023. So you got April, May, June, July, 4 months into this case. Mustafa's been arrested. Okay, he's been sitting in solitary confinement the entire time. The prosecutors are arguing that that there's no audio to this thing, that they have to try to figure out what was being said based on lip movement, lip reading.
Lip reader, yeah.
Okay, and the main investigator, Robert Drum, who falsified Mustafa's statements, who's falsified a lot of information in this case, is reaching out to Rexing. And this is his primary concern right here in this email. And you're going to see it. That's what he's worried about. At this point in time, this is all they're worried about. And this is also corroborated through the body cam conversation he had with Rexing. So when he reaches out to Rexing again, he never mentions that this camera didn't capture audio. He never mentions that I don't have audio from this camera. It should have audio. Forensics is telling us that the audio capability is turned on and there's no audio to this camera. He never talks about it. And the only thing you can conclude from this document, from the body cam, is that Robert Drum does have the audio. The prosecutors do have the audio, and they simply cut it out. Okay? It's not the first, this is not the first time that we're hearing where there's footage without audio. It's not the first time. This county is, they're experts at removing audio from videos.
So you have a situation where they have the audio, but they're hiding it. And for over 2 years, they tell the community, we don't have the audio. But there's a document in the discovery that shows that Officer Zymus admit that there is audio. And furthermore, Furthermore, there's a document here that when the main investigator reaches out to the dash camera company, he doesn't even ask about the audio.
He never talks about the audio.
His concern is not the audio because they have the audio.
They already have the
They
audio.
already have it.
And the audio for them doesn't match the narrative that they're going with. So for them, it's just easy to say, let's just say there's no audio. Okay? And, this camera, they claim that it cuts off prior to impact. But you can see Mustafa's hands. You can see Dorothy's hands.
I got it. Yeah.
I think I have to put the sound down for that one.
Oh, you're gonna. It sounds
just
good.
gonna
Sounds good. And then if I want the sound, then I'll just tell you. I mean, this conversation is so disturbing on so many levels. You're talking about malicious prosecution. You're talking about cherry picking evidence, and now you're talking about concealing exculpatory evidence in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case.
I mean, this is like literally the definition of tampering with evidence. To remove the audio, to cut off footage that should be there. Okay. And now the county is scared that someone's going to come in and download the original SD card files. They're scared that someone's going to come in and download the original CDR data from the vehicle. They won't let the independent expert examine the car. I mean, this is a piece of evidence. Every person that's accused of a crime is entitled to examine the evidence being used in his case. Why is Mustafa being deprived of having an independent expert come in and examine this car? The police said this is brake failure.
It must be so good.
Okay, so we brought in an independent expert to examine this vehicle further, to determine what the cause of this brake failure is. And the county is terrified. They're terrified that someone's going to come in and find out what's going on with these brakes, okay, and document it. They don't want to go into it. Why aren't they examining this car in more detail? I mean, you have
because they found on the police mechanic on the body cam admit that they find brake failure. 2 of the calipers did not work. When the computer inside the vehicle show that Mustafa's foot was on the brake the whole entire time, there are brake marks from 2 of the calipers on scene. There are brake marks from 2 of the calipers that actually did work. But there is brake failure. It's on a body cam that we released. That's why they don't want anybody to inspect the vehicle. Further,
I mean, it's
the SUV driver. The SUV driver that Robert Drum, the main investigator, says she turned into him. That Mustafa did everything he can, cleared all the vehicles, made it to the other side, and the SUV turned into Mustafa.
Look, I'm looking at the body cam.
By the way, I have the document ready if you want to switch back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the body cam where Officer Matthew Surdam, that's one of the officers that was interrogating Mustafa at the hospital.
Matthew Surdam. Yeah, the one that was guarding the door?
Matthew Surdam.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the one that investigator Chad Mason told to make sure his body cam is not recording.
Make sure your body cam is off for all of it. That's what he said on the body cam.
Okay, so he's actively being told to mute his body cam, to turn it off. And that's what we see at the hospital. I mean, if you have to count the amount of times that these police officers have muted, unmuted their body cam, it's disturbing. What's the point of wearing a body cam if you're just going to simply click the button and mute it whenever you feel like it, or whenever you're going to say something that is going to probably incriminate the police? What were they saying? What was so important for them to mute their body cam? I mean, over like 30, 40 times they muted their camera.
Well, they're actively manipulating the scene. I mean, that's what they're doing.
You have Officer Casey Fines, who mutes his body cam for the entire duration that he's on the scene. Why are you muting your body cam? What's the point of wearing a body cam if you're just going to simply mute it, or if you're going to simply turn it off? And, when they're like later, when they're at the police impound, when there's an examination of Mustafa's vehicle, one of the officers refused to put on his body cam. So what does he do? He clips it on a pole.
That's on a body cam. Yeah, we saw that on the body cam.
Okay. He
Yeah.
refuses to put on his body cam. And then, like in protest, he clips his body cam to a pole and he leaves it there. Like, what,
He's like, I don't want to wear it. He's
What-
like, you have to. He's like, I don't want to wear it. I'm just going to put it right here.
what do they have against body cams? What are they I mean, you're supposed to be wearing this body cam so that we, the people, can hold you accountable. Why are you muting your body cam? Why are you refusing to put on your body cams?
And just in case they missed anything, the Commonwealth attorney gets an order to seal off the whole entire file.
To seal it. In case they forgot to mute something that they shouldn't have been saying about Mustafa, in case they forgot, she seals it all off to protect the police. I mean, everything in this body cam is criminal. Everything that they've done to Mustafa is criminal. You want to talk about tampering with witnesses, tampering with evidence? I mean, they've chopped up Mustafa's vehicle prior to inspecting it. Why are you chopping off this man's vehicle when at the hospital he told you, my brakes did not work?
You know what I find really interesting is we have the investigator's wife who's on a body cam on three-way, who does not work for the police department. Stephanie Claiborne Drum, who is on the internet as Kate0707, releasing sealed material. Now, Kate was heavily involved in this case, and she pretended that she's one of the supporters and was here at one point on the internet advocating for Mustafa, pretending to be advocating for Mustafa.
This is Kate0707 on TikTok.
On TikTok. Now, she told everybody, by the way, she never turns on her camera. And she told everybody that she's from Texas, that her name is Kate0707, and she's from Texas. Well, now we have her holding a live on TikTok, an actively released document from the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. Now, we called her out on what is she doing. We're like, ma'am, your voice is matched, even though you don't turn on your camera, your voice is on a body cam.
I mean, not only
identifying as the wife of the investigator.
not only her voice, but it's the same phrase that Robert Drum's wife said on that body cam. She says, oh my gosh, and then she's actively on TikTok releasing photos from Robert Drum's Nikon camera. Okay, from the body cams, you see Robert Drum with his big DSLR camera taking photos of the scene. Those photos are in his wife's possession, and she's actively releasing those photos to the internet. These photos, might I remind you, they are sealed. So the only person that should be in possession of them is Mustafa's lawyer and the prosecutors and the police.
Well, Mohammed, now what she says is that she FOIA requested those that file.
Well, according to Virginia FOIA laws, if you request something through the FOIA process, you have to be living in Virginia to get
That's
it.
right. She says you're from Texas. How is she FOIA requesting information from Virginia?
Not only that, but I've submitted FOIA requests to the police department in Mustafa's case as his power of attorney, and they simply denied every FOIA I submitted. They've denied it. They've said that everything is under seal, that they're not releasing anything to this case. So for K0707, Stephanie Claiborne Drum, to pretend like she's from Texas, that her name is Kate, we're not buying that lie. Okay,
Now,
I mean, you got to come up with a better lie.
I mean, Mohammed, there's another person that's on her that's also trolling the conversation. Dewey Girl, she also refused to turn on her camera. And she's simply gaslighting and trolling the conversation. Everybody that has been here, we're on the same page. Now, she says, wait a minute, I FOIA requested the Mustafa Al-Jazari file. Wait a minute, this is the same person that says I live out of state.
This whole
How could you FOIA request from Virginia if you live out of state?
look, this whole FOIA excuse, they're trying to say they have these documents because they FOIA'd. That's not going to work.
So wait a minute.
You got to come up with a better lie than that.
Well, let me ask you this then. Why is the county coming after me for releasing the Mustafa Al-Jazari file if it's not sealed?
That's a very good point.
I mean, I have a case in Circuit Court in Prince William County. I have a case in Warren County. I have a case in federal court for releasing the Mustafa Al-Jazari file.
Amy Ashworth is criminally charging Elaine Jarvis for allegedly disseminating the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. They're criminally charging her. She said she's facing jail time for releasing Mustafa's files. But yet you have the investigator's wife claiming to be somebody from Texas, releasing photos of Mustafa's the pictures from the scene of the accident?
Mom, can you do me a favor? Can you go into? I want to play an exhibit, just to drive the point home.
Go ahead.
Now, this is the wife of the investigator, who we called out on the internet for being on the internet, being on a body cam on three-way when she does not work for the police department, talking to her husband, and is in possession of the file, the Mustafa Al-Jazari file. And this is what we said on the internet. And I remind this community, this is a sealed file. The Commonwealth Attorney has sealed this file, and no one is in possession.
No one is to have.
This is the picture of investigator Robert Drum, the main investigator that falsified the police report. She identified as Kate0707 on the internet, and her actual name is Stephanie Claiborne Drum.
I mean, she's online. You know why she's online?
Yeah.
It's because she's trying to defend her husband, Robert Drum. She's trying to defend him from what's coming down the pipeline for him.
Now,
He's going to be criminally charged for tampering with
100%. We have the whole file is being shared with the community, is being shared with the Department of Justice, and there are FBI agents that are actively investigating her husband, her, and this county, and the police misconduct that they've been involved in.
You know,
Now,
if he's willing to tamper with Mustafa's case, okay, this guy's been here for 20 years working with the police department. If he's actively deleting audio from a dash cam, actively tampering with the scene of the accident, he's must have done it before to other people. How many people has the prosecution prosecuted based on his lies? How many cases has he falsified? I think that's a very good question. I think the police department, their internal affairs, needs to look into Robert Drum. They need to, well, we're going to get it anyways. We're going to subpoena his cell phone. And we're going to find out what kind of communication he was having with other officers around him at the time. Okay? Communications that he had with minors, children that he shouldn't have been having. Okay? What was he saying to Chad Mason, who admits in court that they've tampered with this evidence, this dash cam, that they've plugged it into their computer, knowing that they violated department policy? I mean, this guy has been there for 20 years. Chad Mason's been there for, I think, a little bit over 12 years. And these people are who we entrust to gather facts in car accidents and criminal cases. And they're actively lying, actively prosecuting people based on evidence that's been tampered with.
I mean, these are not opinions. This is not our word against these investigators. We have the Mustafa Al-Jazari file, and we're disseminating that file actively on the internet. So what we say comes with body cams, documents, evidence that show that these police officers engaged in police misconduct. Mohammed, I want to dial back a little bit in the conversation. Back to Kate0707, Stephanie Claiborne Drum, the wife of the investigator. Here she says, she says, there isn't any, she's talking about the seal. Mm-hmm. They are just mad. They can post sealed video, but God forbid someone that show unsealed pictures. Wait. There's a big difference.
So she's talking about you, that you're mad that someone else can post the sealed videos?
Yeah. And she's claiming that it's unsealed. Well, the question is, it's not that I'm mad that I can post and you can post. It's the fact that you're the wife of the investigator who's on a body cam, on an active investigation, and now releasing material that is sealed and is gaslighting the conversation. There's a huge difference.
And by the way,
between another person from the community versus the wife of the investigator actively on the internet gaslighting the conversation using Prince William County Police Department resources.
And by the way, we don't have
to lie about this case.
We don't have a problem with people posting body cam information from the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. But if they're going to do it, then I think the Commonwealth Attorney needs to unseal this file and just release it to the community.
I mean, the reason, Mohammed, the reason I'm putting a seal on these documents, on these body cam, is to put a pressure on this Commonwealth Attorney to unseal the file. Now, if I release enough, the Commonwealth Attorney is at one point is going to have to come out and address the police misconduct, because this community is not going to be okay with police misconduct, because they're going to say there is a police officer that lied here, lied there. At this point, I think the community is going to say, at this point, we should be able. There is enough evidence that you falsified this case. There should be we should be able to FOIA request this file to get to the bottom of it. And the Commonwealth Attorney is going to have to come out and release a file. I mean, that's the whole point of me putting a seal, is to track down on who's releasing what and to put a pressure on the Commonwealth Attorney to unseal the file. I want this file unsealed.
Exactly. But for the Commonwealth Attorney to put a seal on it, and then you have the investigator's wife using police resources to gaslight the Mustafa Al-Jazari case, to put out a narrative into social media. They've already put out the narrative on the media. They've lied on the media, up and down. But now they're trying to take over the social media part of it. And Investigator Drum's wife is actively on the internet using her husband's resources to blackmail this family, to gaslight the Mustafa case, and to put out misinformation.
I mean, Mohammed, I think you can bring, if you switch the camera over to my exhibits, I think I can bring everybody into, and can everybody hear me? Mohammed, can you put the volume up for everybody?
It's there.
Shelly, Casey, Missy, hello. How are you, ma'am? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. Shelly, I'm pulling up the conversation that is on the internet, on TikTok, and you asked Dewey, girl 73 is another individual who refused to turn on their camera, has been on this case for over a year and a half, tracking this case. We don't know who that person is, but you refuse to turn on their camera, but is gaslighting the conversation. And follow that person on TikTok, see what they're putting out, and is gaslighting the conversation. Shelly, she tells you that this file is not sealed. LOL. It was very simple. FOIA, laugh emoji, bah ha ha ha. It is not LOL. Y'all are funny. Now, wait a minute, Shelly. I thought Dewey Girl was from out of state. Shelly, can you hear me?
He's on mute. Hi, everybody.
We're going to wait for Shelly to join the conversation. Shelly, can you hear me?
Hi. How do we get his attention?
Maybe she's not on the, she's on the call, but she's not paying attention.
Yeah, she's not paying
Or
attention.
maybe she's on mute.
That's fine. We'll wait for Shelly. But Missy, Casey, are you guys watching the same thing I'm watching?
Oh, Shelly's back on.
Okay, Shelly.
Can't hear you.
I am so happy that you're back.
You're on mute.
Is Shelly back?
Hi, Shelly.
No, she's on mute. Is she on mute? Okay. We'll wait for Shelly to get back.
Look, if she's claiming that she FOIA requested this material, prove us all wrong. Post the email.
Post the email. Post your receipts.
Exactly. Post the email where you requested this information and Prince William County Police said, okay, here's the files. Take it. I don't believe it. I'm not buying it. I have an email where they tell me it's under seal. And I'm saying I'm, as power of attorney, I'm requesting this information on behalf of my brother, who I have legal power of attorney for.
Exactly.
But
And that's
I
what
can't hear
Shelly
us
is
on the-
asking her. Shelly, thank you for joining the conversation. How are you, ma'am? Is Shelly still on mute? Can Shelly, can you hear me? All right, we're having technical difficulties with Shelly.
I text Mohammed's phone. Hopefully his wife has his phone.
Bustos, thank you for...
I'm here.
Shelly's
Okay.
there.
Shelly,
Okay.
Shelly,
Sounds
hello.
better. Yes, we're here.
Shelly, thank you for joining the conversation. Bustos, thank you for being here. Now, Shelly, we're
can't
going
hear.
over the videos that we, and specifically what Kate is telling us. You have Kate telling us that this is not a sealed file and that she FOIA requested it. You have
Okay,
Dewey, Dewey Girl, who says it's not sealed on TikTok, and that she had FOIA requested it and they got the file.
I can't hear him.
Now, you asked her a very interesting question. You
Did you
said
turn it up on the TV?
No.
you asked her,
You can't hear him on here.
Shelly, you asked her, you said, I thought if you lived out of state, they wouldn't process your requests. Dewey Girl, 73, I am going to need you to post receipts
He's muted on
to
here.
back all that. Now, Shelly, you can't bullshit Shelly. One thing about beautiful, beautiful Shelly, I've come to know this beautiful, beautiful lady going through what we're going through. She met us at the jail parking lot when we were actively camping in the jail parking lot when they beat Mustafa. And she's calling her out. She said, post your receipts. I don't know.
She's not going to do it.
She's not going to.
She's not gonna do it.
There is not possible. I mean, Shelly, can you hear me? Okay, so we're still
I
having
mean, this
technical
police department
yeah.
has a problem on their hands.
Of course, a huge problem.
They have an investigator who's tampering with witnesses, tampering with evidence, and now his wife is using his laptop when he comes home.
Yeah, Amar, I can hear you.
Shelly, thank you for joining the conversation. Shelly, we're going over what Kate0707, the wife of the investigator, Stephanie Claiborne Drum, is telling us on the internet. And I think we're asking her valid questions. We're telling her, we find you on a body cam. We find your voice on a
Messenger's
body cam.
muted, Mar.
Huh? What's going on? Missy, what happened? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me?
You know, there's a delay. You know, because you're live.
Oh, now you can hear me.
Now we can hear you.
Oh my God, I was muted the whole time.
Wow. Okay, good.
Yes, we know.
I mean, talk about technical difficulties. Shelly, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh my God, I am so happy. The whole time, I am the problem.
You are the problem.
I am the problem.
You're always the problem.
I'm always the problem.
Tell him, Mo. Tell him.
Now, this problem is going after the county, and they definitely have a problem. I promise you that. I'm going to hold them accountable by law and get to the bottom of the police
Mo,
misconduct that's
turn
going
his sound down.
on. Shelly, we're going over the
Is that better?
video.
Okay.
Shelly, you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
He just has to stop. He just has to stop yelling.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Okay, go ahead.
Shelly, we're going over what Kate is telling us. We're going over what Dewey is telling us. And they're both telling us that they FOIA requested the file. And you called her out.
I did. But you see, she don't want to answer my questions.
Yeah, Shelly, I have the post pulled up on the live. And you asked her, I thought if you lived out of state, they wouldn't process your request, Dewey. I am going to need you to post receipts to back up all of that. Now, that's a valid request.
So let me read this. No, I simply asked the question online. Can you FOIA in Virginia if you are out of state? And the answer is no. Virginia's Freedom of Information Act primarily applies to citizens of the Commonwealth and media representatives with circulation or broadcast in Virginia.
Yeah, you can't because I tried.
Therefore, if you are not a Virginia resident, you generally cannot use FOIA to access public records in the state of Virginia.
I mean, did you hear what Casey just said? Casey tried a FOIA request in Virginia. And Casey, what did they tell you?
Amar, let's go back a year ago when Steven tried to do it and he got denied?
There you go.
There you go.
You know, who Kate has connections with?
Her husband,
Her husband.
Robert Drum.
Robert Drum. I mean, what specifically is she releasing? She's releasing pictures that Robert Drum, her husband, took on the scene on his Nokia camera.
I mean, yeah, look at exactly what she's releasing. She's not releasing body cams. She's not releasing documents. She's releasing photos that were taken by Robert Drum's Nikon camera. The camera that you see him on the scene with.
These pictures.
With a strap around his neck and he's going around taking pictures.
Yeah.
That's what she's releasing, those photos. So that investigator went home and his wife went to his camera, went to his laptop and took that information. And now she's all over the internet.
I mean, the problem...
Posting these pictures. I mean, these are high quality photos that she's posting.
I mean, the problem for her is that she's been on the internet for over a year and a half. There are individuals that are been tracking Mustafa's case for over a year to a year and a half.
And you know who's on this live
and
broadcast?
she's been identifying herself as a person that lives in Texas. And then Dewey is out of state. We have recordings of them saying that.
Look, we know that these officers, they have family members, and it looks like these officers, they've tasked their family members to go on social media, and these officers are actively feeding sealed material to their wives, to whatever, their family members, to go online and to derail this entire case, to put out misinformation.
I mean, talk about derailing. I mean, when you ask her, she says, the reason that you're mad is because y'all just mad we showed the damage to the whole car, including the passenger side. What do you mean, lady? I mean, are you telling me that this was not a horrible accident? Of course it was. This was a tragic, horrible accident. 2 fatalities. Mustafa lost his family inside this vehicle. And if you want to lie to this community and tell them that, I mean, 2 people died in this vehicle accident. Do you know how bad of a vehicle accident this is to have 2 people die? And you want to play on this note that, look, I'm showing how horrible. You're gaslighting the conversation. You're playing on the heart and mind of this community, showing this community, look at how horrible this vehicle is. This is what this monster have done. And you refuse to look at the details of this accident. The computer inside Mustafa's vehicle show that his foot was on the brake the whole entire time. The police mechanic on a body cam, I'm going to play a body cam, that I called her out on it. I tagged her in it. This is Mohammed. Can you put the volume up?
It's up.
Why isn't it playing?
Are you hooked up to the Bluetooth?
I should be. Maybe because everybody's here. Shouldn't matter. Is it playing on the live? Can you put the volume up?
It is up.
Brake didn't engage.
Brake did not engage.
So this is a body cam when they're examining Mustafa's vehicle at the police impound. There's a county mechanic, and he's testing out Mustafa's brakes individually. So they're using a bar. So one officer would use a bar to press on the brakes, and then you have another officer spinning the wheel to see if the brakes are functioning.
And here,
Cruz,
I'm gonna fast forward
watch the front one. You ready?
Fast forward. Yep. So this is what you're talking about.
I'm applying it. All right, this one's still going. That one's still going?
He said, I'm applying it, and the other officer at the wheel says, this one is still going. Okay, and then later they ask, the officer asks, how are these brakes connected, like, to the brake system? Are they each individually, they have a line or what? And the county mechanic says, well, I looked at all the lines. They're all intact. There's no leaks.
They're all intact, which means that this has not been caused from the accident, from the impact.
Exactly.
There is an impact that happened between the SUV and Mustafa's car that the county mechanic is telling you, this is not from the impact. This is not from the impact. And he goes into details in this video, and we're going to play it. He says all the brake lines are intact. So there's no way that
there's no damage. There's no damage from the accident itself. So this brake failure is caused by something else, not from the accident.
A mechanical failure, a brake failure, not caused by the impact. But what does Kate and Dewey Girl like to tell the community? I mean, they're gaslighting the conversation. They're saying that this is because of the impact, that this brake failure is because of the impact. Well, the county mechanic on a body cam.
If she's from Texas, how would she know? From all the way over there, she determined that this is what it is?
Well, she's gaslighting the conversation. And you know what she says?
Is her husband feeding her information to put out on the internet?
Well, further, she goes and says...
Her husband who falsified this entire case.
Her husband who falsified the whole entire case. And then she says, well, the 2 calipers are 75% or 90% of the brake vehicle.
How would she know? How would she know it's 95%, it's 80%, whatever she's trying to claim? How would she know that? What information does she have that we don't have from these files? I mean, we have the entire case. Where is she getting that information from?
Well, I find it really interesting because you go ahead, drive with only 2 calipers down the road, and you tell me that it's going to be okay. So you're telling me it's okay to drive with only 2 calipers? Is that what you're telling me? You're telling me that you would put your family in a vehicle that only has 2 functioning calipers? Now, it's beautiful how me and you went into it earlier, and you told me even if all the calipers were functioning,
I mean,
it's hard enough to avoid an accident like this.
People have
Not alone only have 2 calipers that are functioning.
People get into car accidents, okay? Most of the time, it's not due to a car malfunctioning. People just get into car accidents, okay? You have to deal with being at the time, trying to react to a situation where you're in a moment of panic. I mean, that's one thing. That's one thing you got to be thinking about. But to have brake failure while you're in a moment of panic, not knowing what to do, I mean, you don't have to take my word for it. I'm not an expert in this stuff. You can read what Dr. Speckert said, what is she? A clinical psychologist.
Clinical psychologist.
Clinical psychologist who analyzed Mustafa's dash camera. She analyzed the data, okay, and
who's an independent expert that looked at everything.
An independent expert, okay, who does this for a living, by the way. She does this for a living. She went through this information and says everything Mustafa did in that vehicle accident is justified. Everything shows.
It's consistent with a vehicle accident.
It's consistent with
someone. A man avoiding a vehicle accident.
Exactly. It's consistent with someone being faced with a situation where he's trying to avoid a wehicle accident. And that was her testimony to the courts. And what did Judge Weimer say when attorney Blake Weiner submitted this sworn affidavit to the court? What did Judge Carol Weimer say? He said, we're going to grant $5,000 to an independent expert for Mustafa's case, but we're not going to give it to Dr. Speckert.
That's interesting.
Why not? Why not? I mean, you're the judge. You know, you're supposed to be impartial. You're granting $5,000 to Mustafa's defense, but you're strictly telling the attorney this $5,000 cannot go to Dr. Speckert, who already put a sworn affidavit describing what her expert professional opinion is of Mustafa's actions in the vehicle, which she says is justified, which she says is consistent with someone trying to avoid a vehicle accident. Judge Weimer doesn't like that. I mean, who's Judge Weimer? Whose side is he on? Is he on the prosecutor's side?
This is the document. If you want to go to the exhibits, I'm going to read this really quick.
Go ahead.
This is a document from Mustafa's experts that looked at the whole entire file and determined that what Mustafa did is consistent with an individual.
Now, I'll tell you, before you go into that, I'll tell you. When the prosecutor says we have an expert that will testify to A, B, and C, saying that Mustafa is guilty, he's a bad person, and then they'll bring in, this is expert number 2, a lip reader who says that Dorothy is crying, she's trying to get out of the vehicle. This is what the prosecutors know. But what they fail to tell you is the prosecutor is giving these experts a very limited amount of information that's taken out of context. Okay? It's taken out of context. They give this stuff to a professional, and the professional says, they specifically say, based on what you gave me, okay? And we look at what they gave them. They gave them stuff that's taken out of context. For example, when this expert says that Mustafa is abusive, whatever, like all these negative things about Mustafa, they're not telling this expert that ex-boyfriend Glenn Ford was abusing these kids. They're not telling this expert that these children have been through hell and back with their biological father, with the ex-boyfriend, that they've gone through this stuff like their entire life, this abuse. Mustafa's only been in the picture for 2 months. They're not telling that to the expert.
Total, the relationship is 3 months long. Mustafa moved into the apartment 1 month before the vehicle accident. The whole entire relationship, 3 months long.
They're taking everything negative that these kids have been through their entire life, and they're telling the expert, I want you to apply everything negative here to this one man that's been there for 2 months. Apply it and write me a summary of your professional opinion. Okay? Now, with Dr. Speckard, Mustafa's attorney gives her the full dash camera. He gives her Mustafa's full information, not taken out of context. Okay? And that's why you see this expert say, this is consistent with someone trying to avoid a vehicle accident. Everything he took, every action, is consistent with someone trying to avoid a car accident.
Specifically,
and Judge Weimer says $5,000, but not for this expert.
That's interesting. She says, it is my expert opinion that Mr. Al-Jazari action and reaction, specifically including, but not limited to his decision to steer his vehicle to the left into opposite traffic when he was in an intersection with his car lane ending, his facial expression and reaction immediately before the crash, his failure to forcefully depress the brake pedal in his vehicle, failure to recall details after the crash, and are all completely consistent with a lay individual trying but failing to avoid a dangerous situation by freezing or shutting down. And the subsequent psychological response to a traumatic event, more specifically, Mr. Al-Jazari action and reaction before the crash, are completely consistent with an individual reacting to a dangerous and traumatic situation while trying to avoid harm, as it is incredibly common for individuals to freeze and fall to respond optimally when forced with a dangerous and traumatic event. Specifically, quickly changing life-threatening circumstances is also incredibly common for individuals. Let's see if I can pull this up. Bear with me. There we go. There we go. Almost there. All right. So the page continue. To have a dissociative response in the case of a traumatic event and thus not remember all details of the traumatic event after they occur. I am executing this affidavit to avoid, to attest that my above statement and opinion are based on my evidence, expert experience, and research, and based on reasonable degree of scientific
education, experience, and research, and based on a reasonable degree of scientific. I can't read the rest of it. It's cut off. Certainty.
Okay. I declare under penalty or perjury that the foregoing is true and correct. I mean, this is a expert that looked at all the file.
Why is the prosecutor?
Not a portion of it, like what they're doing to their experts.
Why is the prosecutor, Sarah Sammy, Amy Ashworth, and Judge Carol Weimer so scared of this testimony? What are they so afraid of? They don't want to give the $5,000 that the judge already granted. He doesn't want to give it to this expert. He says, you can get another expert, but not this one.
But I'll tell you, but
Why not?
Kate 0707, the wife of the investigator on this case.
And by the way, I'll tell you something. I'll say something.
It sits there and gaslights the conversation.
I'll say something.
Nothing will convince her, by the way.
To have someone sit without bond for 2 years, and you have an expert that is willing to testify to this information, and for the prosecutor, for the judge to not give this man, I mean, at least give him bond. The bare minimum, put him on house arrest. But they don't want it. You know why they don't want it? They don't want him on house arrest. Because if he's on house arrest, he's going to be able to look at these body cams. He's going to be able to look at that 840-page discovery. And he's going to find all the inconsistencies where Drum lied, where Chad Mason lied, Casey Fines put out these narratives. Officer Matthew Surdam interrogated him in the hospital while he's injected with fentanyl. He's going to be asking questions about where's the audio to my dash cam.
This is the document that you wanted.
That's what they're afraid of.
Post earlier.
That's what they're afraid of. Okay, they've already established he's not a danger to society. They've already established he's not a flight risk. Okay? He doesn't even have a passport. His passport is expired. And we gave that up to the courts. So he's not a flight risk. But they're trying to say he's a danger to society. After getting involved in a car accident, you want to say this person is a danger to society based on what? He has no criminal background. No criminal background whatsoever. I mean, the man has a dash cam in his car. He has a dash cam that has an LCD screen that's facing him. This is not like a hidden dash cam that he installed. This is a camera that is sitting in his face as he's driving.
Mohammed, this is if you go to the exhibits, this is the document that you wanted me to post earlier. And it's very concerning that the main investigator who claims that they can't get the audio, the police department who says there is no audio to this dash camera, when he reaches out to Rexon, that's not the first thing he asks. As a matter of fact, he doesn't ask that question at all. That's not alarming.
Can you remove that thing on the side?
I can do that.
Okay, so this is July 17th, 2023. Good afternoon. This is a letter from Robert Drum to Rexing USA, the dashcam company. And this is 4 months after the vehicle accident.
See if it pulls up. It should update automatically.
Yeah, it's good. That's good.
Is it?
Oh, let me see. Yeah, well, it's
Slanted. What about now?
Yeah.
I mean, is that good?
No, you had it right. You had it good earlier.
Like this?
No.
Okay. But it has the because it's on TikTok.
No, I was saying the phone call was in the way. You know, the call.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah,
that's good. Okay.
That's perfect.
I posted this to TikTok under Not Another Boring Podcast, so you'll find this document on there. And the alarming thing, Mohammed, the alarming thing, the disturbing part, is nowhere in that document, communication, that he's asking about the audio.
Exactly. So let's read. I mean, let's read what Robert Drum's concerns are. 4 months. This is the primary investigator on this case. Like, this is the top. This is the main guy that's doing this entire case. He's a crash.
Now, Mohammed, you have a body cam for when you have the body cam.
Yeah, we also have body cam where he's talking to Rexing. Okay, and it's consistent with this letter. Nowhere in this letter does he say, where's the audio? He never says it. He never asks, this camera doesn't have audio.
Well, what's interesting and disturbing is that Officer Zymus in the discovery says there is an audio. They have the audio to this dash camera. They have the audio. They admit that they have the audio. But for 2 years, they tell the community that there is no audio. And this is evidence that when he reaches out to Rexon, he's not asking about the audio because they have the audio. You want to read the letter?
Let's see. Okay, he says, good afternoon. This is, by the way, this is Monday, July 17th, 2023. Good afternoon. My name is Investigator Drum. I work for the Prince William County Police Crash Investigation Unit. Earlier this year, we had a double fatal involving a mother and her daughter. The suspect was arrested. The video shows the WHO event, and our Commonwealth Attorney's Office is asking about information related to your camera system. I have tried calling your number and can't get anyone to pick up the phone. I understand you have an office in New Jersey. I am willing to travel to meet with someone who can walk me through how your camera works. The video's GPS location does not change data, and the speed limit is stuck at 77 miles per hour in every video. These are questions we need to understand. Can someone please give me a call at his number as soon as possible or confirm this email?
Now, what I'm going to do before we jump into the details, I'm going to bring everybody into the live and let's have a conversation.
I mean, why?
Is that good? Okay, let me do that.
His primary concern is video GPS location. Doesn't change data, and the speed limit is stuck at 77. Yet in court, your prosecutor is arguing, Your Honor, this camera didn't capture audio. The audio is not working. Yeah, it's on.
Can you guys hear me? Wait, hang on.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Missy, Shelly, Casey, Bustos, thank you for being here. I brought everybody into the live, and this is beautiful because, I mean, we just read a document. I mean, you guys are the community. I mean, you're watching what we're watching. You're watching what we're going through. You're looking over this file. I mean, what the hell is going on here?
Too much.
I mean, the question is, you have an investigator. You have a police department that says this dash
He's
camera.
willing to drive to New Jersey.
He's willing to drive there to ask about the GPS data. And what was the other thing? The GPS data and the speed being stuck at 77 miles per hour. That's what he's worried about.
But nowhere in there does he
say,
care.
Yeah. He doesn't say that this camera didn't capture audio, even though forensics is telling me that the audio capability is turned on. He doesn't say that. Not once does he mention where's the audio. And the only conclusion we can come to with this information is that Robert Drum and the Prince William County Police have the audio, but simply concealed it.
I mean, let's play double advocate here. Shelly, if you were the investigator on this case, would you not ask for the audio? Would the audio be not the first thing that you're going to
that
ask
should
for?
be the primary focus. That should be the number one thing.
I mean, that's disturbing. I mean, you know, and if I have the body cam to this document when Robert Drum actually called Rexon, and nowhere does he ask him about the audio.
That's disturbing.
I mean, Missy, if you were the investigator, would you not ask for the audio?
I have the body cam to this document when Robert Trump actually called Rexon, and nowhere does he ask him about the ice.
I mean, I don't know. Can you guys hear me?
It's just disturbing.
Casey, can you hear me? Bustos, Shelly?
Would you not ask for the...
There's so much static coming through. I can't hear what you're saying.
There's static on the YouTube or on the messenger. All right, can you guys hear me better? That's better. I don't know why when I embed you into the live, there's static. But wait, the YouTube doesn't have static, right? On the messenger, okay. But no, the conversation is, I mean, if you were the investigator on this case, the audio would be the first thing you talk about. I mean, where am I not seeing what's going on here? I mean, you say there's an argument inside the vehicle. You say that this dash camera does not have audio. And you're not asking for the audio? And then we find a document that says you do have the audio. So where's the audio? Where is this goddamn audio? I mean, this is wild.
What is this?
Talk about gaslighting and lying and falsifying the case.
And that's exculpatory evidence.
That's exculpatory
that they should have
evidence.
released to Mustafa.
I mean, I remember during the bond hearing for Mustafa, they brought in the prosecutor claimed and lied that she had a lip reader. The NBC4 came out and said the prosecutor has a lip reader. And then you find out that they're hiding exculpatory evidence that they had the audio all along. I mean, that's disturbing.
I mean, there's a lot of inconsistencies. There's a lot of lies, manipulation going on here.
What I want to do, I want to
I'll
go
point,
over the dash camera.
Yeah, I'll point something out really quick.
Yeah.
I was going through this body cam yesterday.
Yeah.
And they made it a huge point that a vehicle, a red pickup, had attempted to drive through the accident scene that they were getting ready to scan, right? Mm-hmm. That's what they're saying. That this vehicle, I mean, and you look at the body cam, it's nighttime. This car supposedly passed the cones and attempted to drive through the scene of the accident, that they were actively working, that they did not want any vehicle to drive through so that it does not disturb the scene before they scan it.
That's what they said in Discovery.
That's what they said in Discovery. And this is at night.
Yeah.
Now, why is it on body cam that they allowed multiple vehicles to drive through the scene before they scanned it. And then prior to that, you have Chad Mason sweeping up the road prior to scanning it. Prior to scanning the scene of the accident, he's actively sweeping the road. He's
Manipulating the scene.
He's moving things out of place. Okay, it's on body cam. And then they allow a pickup truck that's hauling, like, I think, vehicles. They allow it to drive through. Every other fire truck was able to drive over the curb to not disturb the scene, but they allowed one of these fire trucks to drive directly through in between those cars.
I mean, aren't you supposed to preserve the scene?
I mean, they made it a big deal about this red pickup truck that came in at night. But during the day at the scene of the accident, they allowed a fire truck after, by the way, this is after everybody was transported. This is after everything had calmed down. They've already sealed off the road. But then police wave a fire truck to drive directly through the scene. They waved a pickup truck that's hauling cars directly through the scene.
And then put the LiDAR and measure.
And Chad Mason is actively sweeping up the road. He's sweeping everything to the sidewalk.
I mean,
prior to scanning the scene. I mean, you talk about tampering with a scene. It's on video. And I tell you, this is why they're scared of these videos coming out. They're scared that these body cams are going to come out because it actively shows that they're manipulating the scene prior to scanning it. I mean, the whole point of scanning the scene is to find out how this accident happened, how everything landed where it landed. But yet here you are. He has a big broom and he's sweeping everything to one corner. And then they scan the scene afterwards. This is BS.
Robert Drum at one point start marking the point of impact. You saw it on the body cam, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, there is a very distinctive. There's one individual comes out and he's spraying what do you call that?
The sand, absorbing sand.
Absorbing sand on a specific spot where the radiator
fluid had leaked onto the road from the accident, from the Suburban.
Isn't that the point of impact?
I mean, if a vehicle crashes into something, right there on the spot, you're going to have all the fluid leak out. Okay? And you look at...
Now, this is on body cam.
You have it?
The body cam? Are you talking about
the
dash
picture
camera?
from the scene?
No, I want you to airdrop it to me. If you airdrop it, I'll put a watermark on it really quick. And, I mean, this is terrifying.
I think
it's disturbing. I think you sent it to me, right?
I thought I sent it to you yesterday.
If you send it to me again, it's okay. So I'm putting up the dash camera. I want to go into details about the dash camera. I want to go over that body cam because what's unique about that is that radiator leakage is in the fourth lane. You have the first lane, you have the second lane, you have the third lane, and then you have the fourth lane.
The third lane where the Suburban was driving.
The third lane was where the Suburban was driving. And then when you watch the dash camera comes out, cuts off before impact. And we have evidence that the police department cut this dash camera because the frames are missing and are mismatching on the camera facing outward and inward. There are 17 frames missing from the inside of the vehicle. Now, the radiator leakage is on the fourth lane. Now, what does Robert Drum tell us on a body cam? He says that Mustafa avoided all the vehicles, made it to the fourth lane, and the SUV turned into him. Well, on the fourth lane, there is a radiator leakage. I mean, everybody knows what I'm talking about. When two vehicles impact each other, there's an impact. The radiator is going to leak right there on that spot. The radiator leakage is in the fourth lane. And then on body cams, one of the individuals, I think it's a police officer or one of the firefighter, is actively putting the absorbent, what do you call it, the sand? The absorbent sand on the fourth lane.
Right here.
Oh, this is interesting. I want to, send this. Wait, airdrop it in 2 minutes.
Airdrop it what?
Robert Drum doesn't mark that as a point of impact. He points the third lane as a point of impact. And then later on a body cam says, wait a minute, that's not the point of impact. The fourth lane is the point of impact. Well, if the fourth lane is a point of impact, that would mean that Mustafa did everything he can to avoid all the vehicles, avoid the vehicle accident, and the SUV turned into him.
Okay,
I mean, I can't wrap my head around what I'm watching and why has Mustafa been in solitary confinement for over 2 years. I mean, there is a mounting of evidence that this is a vehicle accident. I mean, just looking at that, it's horrifying. I mean, you have the point of impact on the fourth lane. You have brake failure. You have his foot being on the brake the whole entire time. You have brake marks on the scene from him hitting the brake. And it's distinctive because it's consistent with only 2 calipers. There's only 1 brake mark. Because on a body cam, the police mechanic inspect the vehicle and they find 2 calipers that are not working. But according to the wife of the investigator, that's not good enough for her. That it shouldn't have mattered if he only has 2 caliper. Well, ma'am, you try driving a vehicle with only 2 calipers.
And by the way, you have I'm reading what
This is disturbing.
I'm reading what Juliana said on the chat.
Yeah.
She says the lead investigator that isn't certified to conduct motor vehicle accidents with fatalities, and when the family inquires, they apologize, saying he isn't even qualified to investigate this incident.
We have that on a recording. We went to Sean Shelton with Internal Affairs, and we have a 90-minute conversation with Internal Affairs when we're supplying him with the audio of the investigator, the main investigator falsifying the police report. He tells us that this investigator is not qualified to handle this case.
The real question is, why isn't Virginia State Police part of this case?
That's a good question.
There's 2 fatalities, and you're telling me that you've put a person that does DOT inspections, like Robert Drum?
I mean,
that's what Sean Shelton says. He does DOT inspections. That's his primary thing. He does a crash reconstruction, right? He's a crash reconstructionist, and he's a DOT inspector. You're telling me 2 fatalities, and they put that person on the case? 2 fatalities that you're claiming is a homicide. Where's your homicide detective? Why isn't Virginia State Police putting resources into what's going on in this case? I mean, we've identified all the lies. Why do they not put a competent person on top of this case? If you have information today, let's say, Amar, you have information today about the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. Who do you give it to? You're going to give it to
the homicide detective.
You're going to give it to a crash reconstructionist?
I mean, is this not a murder case? Did you not charge Mustafa with premeditated murder?
You're going to give it to a DOT inspector?
Absolutely not. I mean, that makes absolutely no sense.
And when you reach out to the Prince William County Police about this case, you ask them, who's the primary homicide detective on this case? And they tell you Robert Drum. The same Robert Drum that Internal Affairs told us is an incompetent person. So you're actively putting an incompetent person on a double homicide case?
The question is, how long have we been on this live?
Oh, an hour and 30 minutes.
An hour, 30 minutes. When we come back, we're going to end the podcast. And when we come back tomorrow, we're going to talk and take a deep dive into the dash camera. We're going to take a deep dive into the body cam where one of the fire, is it a paramedic or who's putting the absorbent salt?
No, a firefighter.
One of the firefighters is putting absorbent salt on the fourth lane where the radiator leaked out from the vehicle when it made contact with Mustafa's vehicle. The SUV, Mustafa clears all the vehicles, makes it to the other side, and the SUV turns into Mustafa. And there is a radiator leak from the SUV that T-boned Mustafa's vehicle.
I mean, take a look at this.
We're going to play this body cam.
You can take a picture of it here.
That's okay. We'll release it. Tomorrow is going to be a beautiful podcast where we're going to release that portion from the body cam where you see a firefighter putting absorbent salt on radiator fluid that leaked from the vehicle, from the SUV, on the fourth lane. And that's the point of impact. Robert Drum marked the third lane and then later says on a body cam, the fourth lane is the point of impact.
I mean, the real crime here is how can they hold this man?
By the way, they're not putting that in the discovery. You only see that in the body cam. And that's the disturbing part.
The troubling part in this case is how can they hold this man for 2 years, given that there's so much doubt into this case? There's so much doubt. There's all this evidence to show this is 100% a vehicle accident. Every piece of evidence in this case is showing this is a vehicle accident. Every piece of evidence. The data recorder, the pictures from the scene, the fact that he says his brakes didn't work. I mean, every piece of evidence shows, even the witness testimony. Witnesses are saying, I heard his brake skid prior to impact.
But prosecutor Sarah Sammy in court says there are no witnesses that will say that they heard brake marks.
Look, and the officer specifically asks this witness on the scene. He says, I'm referring to the Chrysler. You heard brake skid? She says, yeah, I heard brake skid from the Chrysler. Is that statement anywhere on a witness statement?
No, it's not in the discovery.
So police are actively muting their body cam, tampering with witnesses, telling them what to write in their statement. And then the prosecutor stands in court and says, in black and white, no witness said he hit the brake. I don't have any witness that says he hit the brake. Actually, witnesses did say they heard his brake skid. Witnesses told the police on scene that there was no erratic driving. The dash cam itself shows that Mustafa slammed on the brake prior to the intersection. Look at the dash cam. He slammed on the brakes.
And the question is, what would satisfy this county, this prosecutor, this police department, that this is a vehicle accident? When the computer inside the vehicle showed that Mustafa's foot is on the brake the whole entire time. When the police mechanic inspect the vehicle and find brake failure. When the dash camera showed this is a vehicle accident. What would satisfy evidence that showed this investigator lied and falsified the police reports?
I mean, that is the real question at the end of the day. Sarah Sammy, Prince William County Police, Judge Carol Weimer, what would satisfy you? What can Mustafa do in that vehicle that would show you this is a car accident? What do you expect him to do? And rewind the dash camera, rewind it. What action could Mustafa have taken to satisfy you as a police department, as a judge, as a prosecutor? What could Mustafa have done to satisfy you that this is a car accident? And the real answer is nothing.
Nothing would satisfy this county.
Nothing.
This police department that this is a vehicle accident.
Nothing, because
the toxicology report showed no alcohol, no drugs. The computer inside the vehicle shows that his foot was on the brake the whole entire time. Dash camera showed that this is a vehicle accident. Dash camera showed there is no argument inside the vehicle. Police report that is falsified by the investigator, falsifying Mustafa's statement, claiming that you told me you were arguing inside the vehicle. An audio recording of the conversation proved that Mustafa never told this investigator what this investigator claimed. What would satisfy this police department? Nothing.
Look,
what would satisfy Kate 0707 on the internet that's trolling the conversation that this is a vehicle accident? Nothing, because we have evidence that you are the wife of the investigator that's protecting her husband, who falsified the police report, who weaponizes the children against Mustafa. We have evidence that the police department engaged in police misconduct, weaponizing the children that loved Mustafa. We have body cams, forensic interviews, that those children were manipulated and lied to and weaponized against Mustafa. The Google-ness inside the apartment show it's a beautiful relationship until the police got involved and lied to the children about Mustafa and then put them in a forensic interview. Nothing will satisfy Stephanie Claiborne Drum, the wife of the investigator, Kate0707 on TikTok. Nothing will satisfy this prosecutor, this police department, because Mustafa is being targeted. And you don't have to take my word for it. Listen to what Mustafa's lawyer, when we told him what they've done to Mustafa. He said, absolutely, they beat your brother inside the jail.
He said, I have no doubt.
I'm going to play, if you want to go to the exhibit.
You know, and I'll tell you why nothing will satisfy them is because Mustafa Al-Jazari was suing Stafford County Sheriff's Office. He was suing the police. And then they have to get him. One way or another, this man has to be blamed for this accident. And whatever it takes, they're going to do it. Whatever it takes. And exactly. And nothing will satisfy this Commonwealth attorney. Nothing will satisfy this police department because Mustafa was suing the police and he doesn't deserve justice. Nothing will satisfy them. Absolutely nothing. This is 100% a malicious prosecution. And the fact that they tried to pin a DUI charge on him prior to changing it.
And that's exactly what we're going to talk about tomorrow. Mohammed, if you want to go to the exhibits, before you go to the exhibits, what we're going to talk about tomorrow are two things. Is the firefighter that's putting salt on the 4th lane, which is the point of impact, and the toxicology report that shows no alcohol and no drugs, and how when that failed in July, redid Kylie's interview. One of the children that does not live at the apartment lives and has a connection with an individual that has a problem with Mustafa. They're using this individual to lie about Mustafa. An individual that says, I did not see anything. I was not there.
I mean, a person that was never there.
That was never there. But the police department,
you know, every person that said something negative about Mustafa, they admit they've never met him. They're not there. They were never there. And main importantly, they were not in the car. They were not in the car.
What I find really disturbing in this case is we have videos and forensic interview and body cam that every witness in this case says, I was not there. I didn't see it. I wasn't there. That's not a witness. And then, so you ask you ask Glenn Ford, the ex-boyfriend. He tells you, talk to the children. You ask Tanisha Coleman, the neighbor. She tells you, talk to the children. You talk to Kylie. She says, I didn't see anything. I wasn't there. Talk to the children. And then when you talk to the children, they tell you, talk to the neighbor.
Talk to the neighbor, Glenn Ford, and Kylie. That's where they're getting their source of information from.
They're manipulating the children. And now everybody wants to pull them, these witnesses, they want to pull themselves away. And they want to say, talk to the children. The children are saying it. And the children are saying, we heard it from them. They told. And then there is Google Nest video evidence in the apartment that show it was a beautiful relationship before the police department, the investigator. One of the 14-year-old Jaden says, investigator told me.
Detective told me
in a forensic interview. We released it. And he says, he told me that Mustafa ran away from the scene, left my 5-year-old baby sister, and if he hadn't run away, they could have saved my 5-year-old sister. You're telling that to a 14-year-old?
You're talking about the same Mustafa that was helicoptered from the scene to the hospital, where investigator Chad Mason and Matthew Surdam interrogated him for 3 hours? That Mustafa fled the scene?
There's so much police misconduct. And we're going to dissect this case.
And they praised Detective Romero for doing an outstanding job with the children. What exactly did he do? He abused these children? He weaponized these kids against Mustafa? Kids that just lost their mother are being weaponized? I mean, you just lost your mom, and you have all these uniforms around you abusing you. Why? To get the man that sued them.
It's absolute abuse, and showing them pictures of their little sister.
Glenn Ford, we're going to release... Exactly, Missy. What we're going to release tomorrow is one of the children, Dorothy's children, in a forensic interview, say that Glenn Ford, the ex-boyfriend, who is in this case, lying about Mustafa, and says, I didn't see anything, I wasn't there, but Mustafa is abusive. The child says that Glenn Ford had went into the hospital, took a picture of his 5-year-old sister, and is actively going and showing it to the rest of the kids.
And by the way, the hospital staff told him, these kids should not see this picture because their baby sister still has all the equipment on her. It's a very graphic picture. These kids should not see it.
So the ex-boyfriend...
And he agreed that the kids are not going to go into that room. So he goes in, he sneaks a picture, goes home, and starts talking negative about Mustafa, telling these kids, look at what Mustafa did to your sister. That is 100% child abuse. He
We're
does not
gonna-
care. He doesn't care about these kids. I mean, the first thing he says to Investigator Davis is Dorothy was a bad mother. The lady just lost her life. She just lost her life in an accident. These kids are crying over their mother, and you're actively abusing these kids, and the first thing you tell the officer is Dorothy was a bad mother?
We have a whole entire file.
He's complaining about the carpet?
We have a whole entire file on Glenford. And one thing that should be, if this county does something good, we're going to thank them for doing it. If they do something bad, we're going to point it out. We want to thank Amy Ashworth for actually putting out a subpoena for Glenford. Now, this is the same case that was set for trial in December. I want this community to really hone on this point and really listen to what I'm saying here. This case was set for trial back in December. Now, this case was set into trial without Glenford. The whole entire allegations, the whole entire case is built on Glenford and what Glenford is saying. And the Commonwealth attorney was not bringing him into this case. Well, now evidence is on the table where apparently he's conspired with Kylie, the other witness, to murder Mustafa and make it look like an accident. And what do we have today? A vehicle accident with brake failure. That's yet to be determined. Is it just mechanical failure? Is it tampering with the vehicle?
And he admitted on a live TikTok that we have recorded, by the way, where he says every time Mustafa left the apartment, every time he came back, he was watching his vehicle.
And then he says that
he was watching his vehicle. Every time Mustafa left the apartment complex, he was watching. Every time Mustafa came back in, every time Mustafa came back in, he was watching. He admitted on the live. He never told that to the police. He pretended like, oh, I don't know what car he drives. I don't know. I think he has a Chrysler or something.
We have a whole entire file on Glenford, and Amy Ashworth is sent out a whole entire subpoena.
And he lied about the extent of his relationship to Kim Coleman. He lied about that to the police. Online, he said she's like a sister to me, that he's known her for many, many, many years. Many years. But to the police, they made it look like they just met 3 weeks ago.
We want to thank Amy Hodson, the other star witness, who also pretended to be someone else on the internet as Christine Alcuzai. Christine Warda, 7 Alcuzai on the internet, on TikTok, and she flushed all these individuals. She brought Glenford on the internet. She brought Kylie on the internet. And I just sat back and recorded. I could not have done this without Amy Hodson. Ma'am, thank you for your service. Now, you lied in this case. We have you on a body cam, lying to Investigator Drum. But you told Robert Drum that you did not know Mustafa. You did not know his girlfriend, Dorothy. That you were getting your information from Kylie. That 16-year-old, we have evidence that she lied to you. For one reason or another, you felt so strong about telling Investigator Drum that Mustafa is a monster, that he abused his girlfriend, the kids, and then when the investigator asked you why, you said, I get my information from Kylie. I don't know Mustafa. I don't know Dorothy. Well, we have information for you that this 16-year-old conspired with the ex-boyfriend to kill Mustafa.
And she fed you lies.
And she fed you lies. Now, on that note, we're going to end this podcast. Now that I've thanked you for your service, we have Glenford getting subpoenaed. And by the way, Glenford, I saw that video while you're driving a rental truck. And
a Penske
rental truck.
Without a seatbelt.
Without a seatbelt. Speeding.
He's going crazy.
You're on a cell phone. You're on social media. You're recording. You're going crazy.
He looked like he was having a seizure.
I mean, we've asked multiple people to put in a report for that rental company because that's not being safe on the road.
That's a big truck.
That's a giant truck. We know you have a history of speeding over 100 miles an hour. Speeding tickets, a lot
of them.
A lot of them.
Like pages, like
that Commonwealth attorney at one point.
We need him,
process. Your criminal charges.
We need him for court.
We need you for court. So we need you to stay safe, drive safe, and we need. And I know there's a problem between you and Amy Hodson. Apparently, you're mad at her for having you on the internet and Mustafa brother recording everything. Now there's a subpoena out for you. We are asking Al Kuzai, aka Amy Hassan, to reach out to you and calm you down. We need you for court. And by the way, thank you for authenticating the audio.
She said it was.
He authenticated that. By the way, before we end this podcast, she said this is AI, right?
She said you created it using AI.
Yep.
Right?
Yep, that's what she said. The whole entire live, the whole hour.
She said he was never there.
This is what Glenn Ford
He
tells
never
a private
talked to the private investigator.
Could you put this on the exhibits? Is it? I have to connect it, right?
She says you use AI, you made this up, and then he goes on the internet
and says,
let's see what he says.
Can you pull that up? He writes in his comment. Did you see Chacha? That's the private investigator that sat down with him and recorded him on a recorded line telling her that he conspired with Kylie to kill Mustafa before the vehicle accident, that he has slept with that 16-year-old, that he forces children to shower.
Zoom in on that.
I mean, you see that? And then he says, by the way,
did you see Cha-Cha saying, I wasn't even talking about Kylie. I mean, she was there. Glenn, thank you for confirming that you were there and you were talking to Cha-Cha.
So you just authenticated the audio. We will see you in court. You're going to have a beautiful time on the stand getting cross-examined by Mustafa's defense attorney. Amy Ashworth, keep doing what you're doing. Thank you for sending out that subpoena.
Well, he's being investigated for conspiracy to commit murder. So we'll see where that goes.
The best is yet to come. I want to thank Bustos. Yes, ma'am. So these allegations about AI are no longer allegation when Glenn Ford authenticates the audio. I had a whole entire hour-long podcast, and she deflects and say, oh, AI, everything is AI, including me. I am not here. Apparently, I'm AI. So now that we have Glenn Ford authenticating the audio, this guy is so dumb. I swear to God, he is so dumb. The prosecutor is living a nightmare. All she wants everybody to do, stay off the goddamn internet. That's what she's telling. But these people are so incompetent. I mean, they're all on drugs. They all lied, and it's all on body cam. We have it, and she's telling them, just stay off. Glenn Ford, stay off the internet. Amy Hudson, stay off the internet. Kylie, stay off the internet.
They keep relapsing. That's the problem. They keep relapsing. He takes something, and then he forgets. He gets online, and he starts, God knows. He just goes on and on. Wakes up the next day, and he's like, I didn't say that. I didn't say this. I didn't say that. Well, technology records everything. So
the prosecutor,
good luck
the Commonwealth attorney, the DOJ, and Mustafa's defense attorney, we're all on the same page. On that note, I want to thank Bustos for doing what she's doing. She supplied us with equipment that have taken this live to a whole new level. Bustos, I love you, ma'am. Thank you for being there. Thank you, ma'am. I want to thank Missy. Missy, thank you for being there. I love you, ma'am. I want to thank Casey. Casey, thank you for being there. I love you. I want to thank Shelly. There's a lot that Shelly does behind closed doors. I love you, ma'am. Thank you for being there. I want to thank everybody. Julia. I want to thank Farah. I love you, ma'am. Thank you for donating into the legal fund. I want to thank, who am I missing here? A lot. Dre. Who else? Am I missing anybody? I'm missing a lot of people. Susie for Regina, Becky, Stefana, Char, a lot of people. Shirley, love you, ma'am. I want to thank everybody for being here. Don't forget to hit the like button on YouTube. Share the link on your other social media platform. There's a button on there that you can donate directly into the YouTube channel to support the channel, to grow the channel. There's a lot of equipment that we want to get to upgrade this podcast. And if you like and support this channel, donate directly into the channel. There's a button on there that you can donate. And we'll put that money to invest in the podcast and upgrade. Don't forget Mustafa's Legal Fund. Mustafa's Legal Fund is a Cash App. It's Mustafa Legal Fund. I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you for being here. This is not another boring podcast. Mustafa through the police body cam. Judge Carol Weimer under the microscope.